have terabytes.
They're just repeating the same fucking talking points, dude.
It's important.
Yeah, see, like I remember at the beginning of this one, Andrew was like talking about how like kind of boring this was, and it's the same thing. And then he had to come in and kind of make it interesting.
Remember the video cameras inside the compound. I don't think they did. I don't think they ever had any of that.
I don't know what the point of this is.
Why wouldn't they have that? They had like, there was like 600 cameras all over Epstein's property and like 3 of his properties.
I don't think they were recording a damn thing.
In private residence, like in private bedrooms, they were all over. None of those cameras. So we trust the FBI now that they didn't find anything, but we trust them that they found like 300 gigabytes or whatever it was of like camera footage.
First of all, they did release files, right? They didn't release files that you like, but they released files. I think there was like 80,000 pages of documents.
Yeah, but it was nothing that the public didn't already know.
Hold on. And who's to say that all the information that you're talking about that did exist at one point wasn't deleted under the Biden administration?
We don't know. They released files.
Well, why wouldn't they clearly say that?
Like, why are they hiding from that then?
Well, because they can't prove who deleted something because the thing is not there. So they're just saying it's been deleted.
Is that what this whole panel is? Is it just bitching about the way in which this information has been released by the Trump administration? Or did you guys have actual criticism? Or did you have actual criticisms or accusations to make against the Trump administration that they're covering? That they're covering. Hang on. Let me ask the question. Shut up, lady, while I ask the question. So the question's really simple. Are you making an accusation that Trump is somehow nefariously tied up with Epstein? Are you making an accusation that there's a cover-up afoot? Why don't you just say what you mean so we can get to the heart of it, and so I don't have to listen to an Epstein Yelp review, and we can have an actual debate here?
All right, Andrew's being dangerously based. I don't like it. All right, my accusation would be that I hit it in my opening. My accusation would be Trump is probably embarrassed by the fact that he was friends with a criminal. That's what's in the files. It's gonna be like these dudes were pretty decently close friends, and he is definitely
until he banned him from all of the properties, right? Until he banned him of all the Mar-a-Lago properties, and then on top of that,
would you still say it's not an embarrassment when that comes out?
I don't think so. I think, like for instance, Chuck Schumer had introduced a bill which was trying to get the Epstein files released, but he attached it to a defense bill. And Chuck Schumer was heavily donated to by Epstein himself. They knew that the Republicans were going to block that because they attached it to another bill, right? This was all partisan politics and game playing. None of them had any intention whatsoever of actually releasing any of this. So the question here, really, for me, is what are you exactly accusing Trump of doing, or Trump's administration of doing? Because if all you're saying is they waffled on how to release this stuff, fine. I'll concede that point. The right has heavily criticized him for doing that. But do you have something more, or is it just like the last 17 weeks of everybody bitching about Epstein without actually making any sort of accusations about anything?
Well, there's plenty of accusations. I just don't know if any of us believe any of them.
Well, it's just not going to go anywhere.
I don't know if we got anyone on here that is deep in the conspiracies.
I'm curious, actually. Like, I'm not sure I feel about this, but what do you think about the Wall Street Journal, the Enigmas Never Age, that whole thing? I mean, Trump is obviously suing them, but it seems ballsy and just nonsensical if the Wall Street Journal doesn't know the provenance of that and is just running with that. So to me,
yeah, right. Give me a break. Do you know how many times these major media outlets have had to retract stories later on about Trump?
This would be like a huge
about Trump's story. Yeah, they do it all the time, man. They do it all the time.
Are you talking about
this one? Just the doodle.
But until that happens, I mean, we can say.
You know what's so crazy is that like the left, like whenever they insult Trump, they always say how he's stupid, he doesn't know how to write, he can't draw, like, you know, like he's like illiterate and he's like an imbecile and stuff. But yet, like Donald Trump also could come up with this wacky poem for Epstein and everything, and then these drawings and stuff. And it's like, does this really seem like something Trump would do? Is he known for doing shit like that? I don't think he is. But I definitely don't think the left usually thinks he is. But when it comes to this, oh no, he definitely drew that letter. He definitely wrote it.
Say that about anything, like, oh, you know, it might get retracted. What about the fact that it looks pretty credible at this moment in time.
Doesn't look. Hang on. Does it look credible, or are you just a fucking Democrat and you want it to be true? Like, which thing do you think is more likely from my position that suddenly we're going to start believing the Wall Street Journal without having? Well, what's the actual evidence here? Can you show me what the actual evidence is that they're presenting of this?
It came from his birth.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about that, Ken, about how he hid the trans person that was in that corner with his notes. That was great.
Birthday book.
Oh, right. So Trump says, nope, not my signature. JD Vance comes out and says,
really your argument? He says it's not mine.
Let me make my argument. Let me make the argument, and then you'll know my argument. So the argument's simple, right? Trump says, nope, not my signature. JD Vance comes out, says the whole thing is a hoax. The burden's on who? You. You know who doesn't have the burden to prove themselves innocent? Trump. You guys have to show a satisfying amount beyond a reasonable doubt that this is the case for the public to believe it, because right now they don't. The reason that they don't is because of all the misinformation that fucking Democrats have put out about Trump before, and the fact that we know Democrats don't give a shit about this. We know that with that Willie Jefferson Clinton was out on Epstein Island all the time. He went at least 4 times, recorded, right? No, Democrats don't care about that. They don't care about their own administration. What do you mean? That's in the official release files. The Democrats don't give. Almost done, bro. Almost done. 1 second. Democrats don't give, and you'll get plenty of time to respond. Plenty of time to respond. Calm the fuck down. So look, Democrats don't care. They don't care. They're not looking at this in a credible way to try to clean their own house either. You're just trying to hurt Trump with it. You don't actually care about it.
Exactly.
Okay, so there was an actual letter. Hold on. There was an actual letter from Bill Clinton in that little birthday book thing too, right? And it was a handwritten letter. My question to everybody who believes that that was a real letter from Donald Trump, did you actually look at it? It says voiceover at the top of it, right? It is a voiceover it's a transcript. It doesn't make any sense. It sounds ridiculous. And then,
well, I mean, I'm going to give you guys fucking good content, okay? I'm going to give you guys fucking entertainment. I'm not going to let these Democrats
Andrew, you're muted.
Just walk around being Democrats. I'm not doing it.
I like how a misfit patriot tried to tell him, Andrew, you muted. It's like, yeah, he knows. He knows he's muted. He's talking to us. That's what he does on his streams. He mutes himself to everybody else, but we could still hear him when we're watching on his stream.
Andrew talks to his own chat sometimes.
I'm trying to understand how they get it out his birthday book, and then they present it as the evidence, and Andrew's like, where's the evidence? I've never heard of such bullshit.
No. That's not what I said. Nope. I'm going to give you the counter here. The counter is this, that when you make an accusation, if you say, Andrew signed my birthday card, and I say, that guy's a fucking liar, I didn't sign it, and that's not my signature, you then need to prove that it is, fuckhead. I don't have to go and prove that I didn't do anything. You got to prove that I did. So prove it.
What burden of proof would that be? What does that look like?
I want to know.
Do you hear what I just said? Prove it. Prove it's his. Prove it's his signature, and he actually signed it.
Beyond those signatures being damn near identical.
You could have eyewitnesses who were there, who saw it. You could have multiple corroborating evidences, which would prove that Trump was false. You could do all sorts of things.
Imagine this barrier standard for everything.
I know. Imagine having evidence for actual evidentiary.
They're acting like what Andrew said was like something wild, like what eyewitness evidence? What is this? Even though they always take secondhand or thirdhand information from other people that Trump did something, all someone has to say is, "Oh, did you hear? I heard in a rumor that I heard that Trump said that Mexico is a shithole and stuff," and all of a sudden they take it as fact, like, "Oh, well, did you hear what Trump said? He said Mexico's a shithole." Oh, what's your source? Someone that was in the room said it, and it's like, oh, okay. So that right there is good enough for you. But eyewitness testimony that says, yeah, they saw him write the letter. Oh yeah, no. That's wild. What's Andrew saying here?
Claims a few good examples of now it will be brought before a court of law. And so we will get to see this information come out through the legal process and see exactly what led the New York Times to make this conclusion that this was credible enough to release. And so this is something where we can all literally just wait and see.
Agreed.
So it's also a story that's probably not going to go away.
I'm just curious, Andrew, what do you think about like the Woody Allen signature, the Alan Dershowitz, the Bill? Do you think the whole book is a fraud, or is your theory that just the Trump one is a fraud, or are you agnostic on it?
Well, it remains to be seen. you know exactly what's going on with the birthday book. So here's the thing that's really funny is like you guys all know this. You all cover media. Initial reports on almost everything that the media puts out there are wrong. And we know that they're wrong almost all the time, which is why we've now gotten into the era of the last 2 years, especially of commentators like all of you. The second a story comes out saying, wait, before I give a take, I'm going to wait for a little bit more information to come out, a little bit more clarification to come out, because if I don't, I'm going to get egg on my face. Except for stupid Democrats can't help themselves, right? Going to rush head first into the, see, Trump's a pedophile, is on pedophile island with pedophile Epstein. It's like, shut up. Just wait for the evidence to come out. Or show me the proof. Show me the actual proof other than, well, they just reported that. We have this card here, so therefore it's true. Fuck that.
The problem is,
Andrew, your president just went on TV and said, don't take Tylenol because of whatever. Like, stop talking about Democrats being stupid. This is ridiculous.
My president did not go out on TV and say, stop taking Tylenol because whatever. You just made that shit up.
There's enough, because it's enough evidence to where it's very much so probable that he did write the letter. And keep in mind, I'm also somebody that said, I don't think Trump did anything necessarily illegal. I just think that his name is in there and he's embarrassed for it to come out.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Let's see if we can get through the facts.
With Epstein.
Let's see.
I don't necessarily think he's done anything illegal.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't make the claim you did, but let's just go through the facts. Do you agree with me that Trump said he didn't sign the letter? He didn't sign that. And do you agree that JD Vance came out with a tweet and said that it was a hoax? That is not correct. It's not correct information. Do you agree with both of those facts?
I agree, but that means shit.
Okay, so if you agree with those facts, then what we have is we have contested evidence. One person says that this is the case, the other one doesn't. So now we're looking for the corroborating evidence to prove one false and one not false. You're like the guy who comes out and says, oh, that chick over there claims she was raped last night.
No,
and then the guy put him in jail, and then we find out later that never happened.
Did I say put him in jail?
No, I'm giving you an analogy. Do you know what an analogy is? How would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning? How would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning?
All I said was the evidence seems a bit credible. I didn't say put him in jail.
Yeah, the evidence also seems a bit not credible. It's contested.
It's like you just want to play defense for Trump, and it's pathetic.
You just want to play offense on Trump. Look,
JD Vance didn't do it.
Yeah,
JD Vance
you know what? I bet you anything that if I go back through your content and get your takes on Destiny when it was coming out that he was, doing things with underage kids, I bet your take is let's stop and wait till we got more information. I'll bet anything that was your take. Am I going to find that if we go back through your shit? Am I going to find you saying with Destiny to slow down and wait for more information? Let me ask the question. Let me ask the question. Let me ask the fucking question, Spurg. Shut up, Spurg. If I go back through your shit, shut up, Spurg. If I go back through your shit, stop talking. Stop talking so I can ask the question.
You already said the same shit about
all you're doing is filibustering. All you're doing is filibustering. Filibustering. Still filibustering. Still filibustering. You're still filibustering.
Muted on your end, but they are on mine. All right. We're all going to take a deep breath. Oh, they're not muted on your end. Okay. It might just be
but we can still hear them. No,
okay.
I was gonna ask Logic's.
Can I finish my exchange? Like, I want to ask this guy the question. I want to ask him the question, and without him filibustering. Let me ask him the question without him filibustering.
Right,
if I go through your fucking content, and I'll do it right now, I'll have the audience go through it, and we get to your take on what happened with Destiny, am I going to find you saying, guys, let's take a second and make sure that we got all the facts before we rush to judgment?
That's years old. I mean,
I've done that. I've done that for Destiny. I've done that for Andrew Tate. I've done that for Candace Owens. I've done that for Donald Trump.
But you're not going to do it for Trump. Not going to do it for Trump.
You're just arguing with
fucking blown out, dummy. He got blown out, dummy. Just sit there.
Fucking idiot. You're not making any sense.
Blown out.
Trump isn't getting everything. You said I'm stupid as fuck.
You made your point, Andrew. Andrew, you made.
And they always try to do that. Like this Logic's guys here. This Logic's guy here. He just said like, yeah, Donald Trump said that he didn't do it, and JD Vance also said that, but it doesn't mean shit. Oh, okay. So the firsthand information, he's not going to believe Trump. Like, of course he's not going to believe Trump. Well, I don't believe shit. Like, obviously this dude here is not going to give Donald Trump the benefit of a doubt, but all these other people he will, which was Andrew Wilson's point. And so I'm glad that Andrew pointed that out.
Your point. I want to get this Mr. Patriot. Let me just get this reset.
As he laughs.
Andrew, you made your point. Okay.
That was fun.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get this back onto the Epstein files. I have a question I'd like to ask the panel about, but Andrew, Or Confluent, sorry. Is there something that you want?
Yeah, so this is great to see, and this was Andrew totally made this panel like actually tolerable, because it did completely start off as like some kind of boring panel talking about Epstein stuff, and then Andrew went in there and actually made it entertaining. So thank you very much, Andrew. But yeah, all these lefties, like, of course, like, he goes, you just want to play defense for Trump, and he rightfully called him out and said, well, you just want to play offense against Trump, which is exactly true. Anything that's anti-Trump, they're going to believe. But you know, they're going to believe, but everyone else, all the Democrats, are going to give them benefits of a doubt or whatnot. So completely full of shit. And that's what I like about Andrew Wilson, that he calls these people out as being the people that are full of shit as they are. But what'd you guys think about that? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to my channel. If you want to see this full panel, I'll have the link down in the description down below. Make sure you also subscribe to The Crucible. That's where Andrew Wilson is on. If you want to see more content like this, I have more playlists on the screen that I think you'll enjoy.